All right, this is James Pelton. Happy Friday to everyone. If you're watching the Brazil-Croatia match, I was told this was bad timing because of that. But what I do is I put the games on a TV to the side, and then you can focus. And when you hear that something's going on, you can kind of look up. So I appreciate you guys being here. If you're watching this live or watching as replay, please hit the like button. I appreciate that. And you guys know one of the things that I like to do in this space, one of my favorite parts of being a YouTuber and a crypto YouTuber is really getting to network out and meet other people and kind of get exchange of ideas. I, look around for people and hopefully they don't think about things exactly the same as I do. And it can help grow me and kind of Proverbs says iron sharpens iron. So one man sharpens another. And that's what I'm always looking for. So today I have Ben Crypto, and that's not your real last name, right, Ben? That would be too convenient if that was actually your last name. But I have Ben on the show today. Ben, could you start out by introducing yourself a little bit, and then we'll kind of get into discussing the markets and things like that.
Sure. So yeah, Crypto is not my real last name. Marks is my real last name. Ben Crypto, it was not a great choice because there's so many cryptos in the YouTube algorithm. It makes the search results sort of sporadically all over the place. The BitBoy, he's a Ben. He sort of hogs the top. Benjamin Cohen, he also hogs some of the top. But yeah, so I have a YouTube channel. It's Ben Crypto. I've been doing it around 6 months. So a little bit, I think James has been doing his for about a year or so, but we're sort of in the same sort of category right there. I do altcoin deep dives Monday through Friday, new videos, generally medium to large size market cap coins, not quite in the top 10, maybe coins ranked 10 through 50 in terms of total market cap. So if that is your cup of tea, then give me a follow over there. I'm also on Twitter at Ben Crypto Show. I do some DeFi projects, which I know that's James is sort of bread and butter. That's what initially made me find you when I was looking at stable fund and yield nodes and freeway finance, sort of that stuff. And then some, hordes, all those. So I started watching James's videos for those. But yeah, thanks a lot for having me on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd love to, I think where maybe your wheelhouse fits in that mine does. So I tend to go very degen, right? And so you're talking about, you're not quite as degen usually. You're kind of in that, like you said, 11 to 100 maybe on the altcoins. So I think you might have a sweet spot there and some knowledge that my audience doesn't usually get from me. I don't talk a lot about Chainlink and Algorand and these type of altcoins. So maybe we could talk a little bit about that, about what altcoins you think are going to be blowing up in the bull run. We can talk maybe through some of that stuff. And really, I just kind of want to hear what I'm looking for is what you're good at that I'm not. And so I think that might be a good spot. Do you want to start by maybe talking about some altcoins that you're excited about that you think, obviously probably nothing's going to moon until we start getting to the bull run, but do you just want to talk through your thoughts on that and your strategy that you have going forward?
Sure. Yeah, I picked the coins ranked 10 through 50 in terms of total market cap because those have the most upward potential. In my opinion, they haven't quite reached top 10 status, but they're in, that position ranked 10 to 50 because they're, good projects to begin with. Like Algorand's one of them. They're based in Boston. That's my hometown here. So they're just naturally not going to get quite as much buzz as a coin in San Francisco. Most of them are based in Silicon Valley. Polygon, that's mostly Silicon Valley. Ethereum's almost entirely Silicon Valley. Solana, Silicon Valley. So they're just always going to get more buzz. So yeah, Chainlink, I'm very bullish on. Algorand, I'm very bullish on. What else is a coin? Volt Inu I'm doing right now. They're ranked around 200 in terms of total market cap. That is probably the strongest community I've ever come across, specifically on Twitter and YouTube and that sort of stuff. So they really resonate with the retail community. They're big on DeFi. What else? Pulse Chain, whenever it finally launches, I know people sort of have a love-hate with that. I feel like it's kind of undervalued because, the love-hate is Richard Hart. It's not the project. So some people love him. Some people hate him. No one is in the middle with him. So I feel like it gets a little bit of negative attention just because of him. Whereas I'm a fan of him, but if people don't like him, it's going to be a little bit undervalued just because of that. Whereas the buzz there is just pretty much unlike any blockchain launch that I've come across in a while. Solana, that was a big blockchain launch a couple years ago. Polygon, Ethereum in 2014. So Pulse Chain is one I am definitely bullish on. Jasmy, that's a Japanese coin that was founded by the president of Sony. So Sony is like one of the top 10 biggest international corporations in the world. It's not, it's not just a US company. They're headquartered in Tokyo. So the ex-president, the number one guy of Sony, he founded Jasmy, and you just haven't heard of it in the US because it's mostly a Japanese coin, but they have very strong retail traction. I get tons of views, tons of comments. Great community there. It has sort of an academic feel, sort of like Algorand, the coin Jasmy, just because the credentials of the team, and the Japanese the government actually supports it because Japan was big in crypto in Tokyo. They were the number one crypto country in the world in terms of daily trading volumes because Mt. Gox was in Tokyo, and they had about 75% of Bitcoin reserves were stored on Mt. Gox. That was now we have tons of exchanges. That was the only exchange in 2014, the only big one. So after that disaster, Japan was sick of crypto for like 6-7 years. They ushered it out of the country. Now they made a comeback with Jasmy. And the excitement, and Japan's a pretty big country. It's 130 million people. South Korea is only about, I think, 50 million people. Taiwan's 10 million people. Australia is 35 million. So Japan is very big for that region. So that's another real undervalued gem, I think.
Okay.
Which coins are you into, James?
Yeah. Well, can I ask, how do you get this info? Because that's one of the things I have trouble with is I'm pretty busy with my YouTube stuff. And so I really have a hard time. I rely on other people kind of going out and doing a lot of the research because how do you deal with that? How do you keep up with projects? Do you follow Twitter? Do you follow Discord, or what's kind of your strategy for that?
It's a great question. It's all basically word of mouth, and you have to seek it out. It's like I was just at a conference in Miami, the Central, great conference. So a bunch of other pretty big influencers were there. Jake Gagan, he's got about 150,000 Twitter followers. Rodney, Crypto Journeys is his screen name. He's pretty big too. So I just asked them, which coin is the best community? They said Volt Inu. So I did a test video last week right after the conference. Total home run. So now I'm full throttle into that one. And then I just take a lot of requests. Jasmy, people just in the comments section, people were emailing me, just saying, looking at this coin Jasmy. I never heard of it. It wasn't too tiny. It was kind of like medium market size. So I did a test video, and again, that hit a home run. So just word of mouth, and you got to tell people I do take requests. So drop in the comment section to let me know any coin you want me to talk about.
Okay, and then another question from the audience, and yeah, audience, keep the questions coming. We would much rather you guys direct the conversation than us just nerd out on whatever we're excited about. So he'd like to, Funny Turtle would like to know, do you dollar cost average into these coins, or do you use TA to buy? What's kind of your strategy for accumulating these?
I'm not really a technical analysis guy. It's just a very specific skill set. I think in a bear market, it's a little bit overrated. It's very useful in a bull market. There's just not enough. It's tough to learn. Basically, it takes a lot of time. So I just don't think it's a good investment of my time to learn that right now, and prices aren't that good. Yeah, I do a little dollar cost averaging. I look for timing a lot, like Algorand. Like they were sponsoring Boston Blockchain Week in September, and then I was going to that, so I figured that was, they're probably going to make some announcements. They did. They hired a new CMO. They announced it during the conference. They made a bunch of partnership announcements too. So I bought into that coin a little bit right beforehand. So I kind of just look for timings, because they don't just make like one announcement every week, these coins. They make announcements around conferences or big events. So I buy in about a week before that.
Okay. So yeah, so you kind of follow the news more than DCA or TA. Could you tell us a little bit about your story? Like, how much are you doing crypto YouTube full time? Do you have another job, or can you tell us about your journey getting into crypto a little bit?
Yeah, fully crypto. I've been around for a while. I guess you could say I'm an OG in the space. I first bought in 2014, bought Bitcoin, just read about it in Wired magazines and sort of tech-friendly magazines. Wasn't that into it, just kind of bought and hold, check the prices maybe once, twice a week, not every day religiously like most people do now. Then I got into it full throttle in 2017, started an investment fund. That was kind of hit or miss. That was in like the big ICO boom of 2017. Some projects were a hit, some were a miss. The investing thing, it's not, I like doing due diligence for my videos. I'm not really a fan of just being sort of a passive investor on the side. So I was always kind of flirting with the idea of starting a YouTube channel. I finally pulled the trigger about 6 months ago. I think I'm the only one who started in the bear market. Tons of people started a year and a half ago. I'm the only one 6 months ago. So it's 22,000 subscribers, 6 months. It's growing steadily for a bear market. I think that's pretty good, or I'm told that's pretty good, but I definitely like this the most. I get to cover the coins I want to cover. It's not like you're just working for one crypto company or one coin. You have to sort of cover them. I can cover all the different sectors, get to meet other great people, other great influencers, like you, James, like the other people at the conferences I've met. It's a great community. So yeah, it's kind of my story there.
Okay, very cool. So you started kind of in the bear market. Funny Turo would like to know, what's been your biggest flop in terms of coins you believed in but collapsed? I think in the bear markets, we like to hear a little bit about people's failures. It makes a misery loves company, is what they say. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Fair enough. A lot of the ICOs in 2017, mostly, honestly, I don't even remember the names, and I don't want to call them out or anything, but there wasn't one early ICO I got into that was the home run. So pretty much it was maybe 5 or 6 that I got into. They pretty much all, not total bombs, they either broke even or didn't really make that much money. I haven't really had any bombs right now. I mean, if Pulse Chain never launches, then that's going to be a bomb right there, because I've been hyping that up big time. And there's just so much excitement. It would just be kind of a waste of a great community there if it doesn't launch. I don't really have any specific sort of bomb other than that in the current sort of bear market right now.
Okay. Were you part of the FTX and were you part of Luna? I know people enjoy talking about that and hearing horror stories about that.
Yeah, no, I did not have any positions in either of those. I've never used FTX. I just made a conscious decision. I was choosing between Binance and FTX this go around here. I just, because I kind of got bad vibes from FTX. Obviously, everyone likes to claim I knew ahead of time. I sure didn't know it was going to go insolvent. I knew Alameda was very shady with their trading strategies and just entered positions way too quickly with way too much money. I kind of had a feeling that was going to end badly, but I thought the exchange was the clean part. I never thought any commingling of funds or anything like that. I did have a feeling Sam was just spending way too much money on advertising. So I assume you've heard the news, Kevin O'Leary was paid $15 million. Did you hear that yesterday? Yeah, that's
Or I
15
missed the
million.
mute button, but yeah, no, I did not hear that. But yes, I wouldn't surprise me. They were all these crypto companies, I think, putting way too much. Crypto.com was paying Matt Damon tons of money, and it's like, hey, you can't spend that much on marketing until you kind of know what kind of income you're going to be having and things like that.
Yeah, at least Matt Damon's like an A-list celebrity. Kevin O'Leary, we're talking low B-list, high C-list celebrity at the most. At 15 million, that's like 1 to 2 million max for his position to just kind of go and at the FTX conferences speak, maybe make a television or public appearance elsewhere. That is not a $15 million gig right there. So I think Sam's strategy in a nutshell was just spend way too much money on 3 groups of people: celebrities, media organizations, and politicians, because those are the 3 groups that can get you good publicity and just make you the trendy thing and avoid getting you in trouble. That's fine in a bull market. So I think Sam was relying on 2 things: the bull market, $65,000 Bitcoin prices, and his superior trading strategies. Let's not forget, he was one of the best traders in crypto back in the day. That's how he made his bones at Jane Street Capital and early Alameda when he founded that. So he was a great trader, as Kevin O'Leary said, but I think he put a little bit too much faith in that. Then the trading strategies, you've all heard the stories, sort of veered into the unethical, possibly illegal sort of tactics right there. So once there was a bear market and those strategies, those aggressive trading strategies weren't working out, he couldn't support the excess spending for those 3 groups: media, politicians, and celebrities. And that's this big hole in the balance sheet we have now.
Okay, gotcha. So you're a big altcoin guy. If you've watched much of my channel, I'm huge on passive income. That's what I'm always trying to get cash flow. And that's part of the problem I have with a lot of crypto is it's not really passive income focused. It's buy and hold or things like that. Elad was wanting to know, if you stake at this time, are you cash flowing from anything, or how do you pay your bills, month to month and things like that?
Yeah, I don't really do too much staking. I'd like to get a little bit more into it. I kind of just choose to spend my time doing due diligence for the videos and for the coins to sort of get more likes. And, I make most of my income with sponsored altcoin videos. I try to do 1 or 2 a week. It's good. It's a little tricky. One week you'll have 5 good projects reach out to you, so you only have time to do 2. Then the next week you don't have any, so it's just bad timing. but that's how I paid the bills there. So I try to just put out the best videos, the best contents. I don't really do too much like high frequency trading. I'm not really a trader per se. You know, I have some positions, buy and hold positions long term, but fundamental analysis is mostly my thing.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I keep missing the mute button, but yeah, no, that's awesome. And again, one of the things I want to highlight when I bring on YouTubers like this is I don't think it's a great strategy to just find one YouTuber and then just follow him and just take everything that he's, says as gospel truth. And I think it's best to get a variety of opinions. Like you and me we're similar, but then we're also like niche, a very kind of different focus. So I just love that there's so many people on YouTube that you can kind of do that and get ideas for going forward. Can I ask your opinion on we'll say the overall markets? Do you think we're near the bottom? Do you think the bear market's going to be going here for another couple years? Or what are kind of your thoughts on when we might see some relief from this?
Good question. I think next week could be a pretty good week. I do think that they're going to raise interest rates by the lowered improved amount of 0.5%, not 0.75%. Doesn't sound like that big a deal, but with 4 straight 0.75%, this marks that the worst of the problem is behind us. So inflation isn't over, but now we're on the downhill, and that's what the markets like to see. Just no huge problems in the future. Things are going to be getting better. Now, we don't know, is that going to be a short-term pump or not? A lot of people are predicting 2023 is going to be a bad year in crypto, the way 2019 was kind of a forgotten year up until the pandemic started. Then we sort of got a bull runs. I think next week is going to be pretty big. I think they might have raised it by 0.5% last time, except Chairman Powell, he is a Republican. The last interest rate announcement came right before the midterm election, so that would have helped Biden and the Democrats if that created some positive momentum, which it would have. So he did 0.75%. Now the midterm elections are over, so it's a good time for him to just raise it and get some, positive publicity and positive market action.
Okay. And we got some questions from the audience. So yeah, audience, keep the questions coming. If there's anything that you want, either me or Ben or a combination. Again, we're going to have different perspectives. Ben is obviously more in touch with like the news and things like that. I don't follow. I personally think that the markets don't follow news that much. Like there's not as much of a correlation as a lot of people think there is. What I see a lot of is like the markets do something and then people go back and try to explain, oh, well, it was because of this, this, and this. And I think in general, the markets just do things. But what are your thoughts on BNB in contrast to, say, Polygon?
So the Binance, I assume they mean the Binance smart chain, or I guess they're just referring to the coin, BNB coin versus Polygon, which is a better hold. I'm guessing that's what they probably mean. It's a tough question. I've never really been a Polygon guy. I just don't know too much about it. Not that I have anything against it. BNB is one of the safest long-term plays, in my opinion. Just it all comes down to the owner, the founder, CZ. He just knows the markets better than anyone. He has run a business very effectively for 5 years, extremely effectively. So I just kind of always trust the founder. I did always have bad vibes from SBF, which I actually did say on my show. I didn't make any predictions that came true, but I did say that I had bad vibes from CZ. I trust BNB. So I'd say BNB in terms of those two.
Okay. Yep. And then how much have you invested in crypto, Ben? I might be too personal, but we'll just ask.
It's kind of been all over the place. It was much more back in the day, because I had invested some in 2014. Then it turned into a lot in 2017 with that huge bull run. A little bit now, not definitely not as much as in the past. But so yeah, it's not really that much right now. I'm kind of on the sidelines, mostly a few positions here and there, but it was much more in 2017. And then I put a little bit too much into the ICOs. Probably should have just held more, but it's not that much right now.
Okay, gotcha. And then I don't know if you're familiar with this, Ben. What's your take on Multiverse X? And Jesse says you mean e-gold, and these are all phrases I don't have any idea what they mean. So hopefully you do.
Yeah, what's up, Jesse? There, he's a regular on my channel. Good to see him. They're paying attention to the Twitter links and coming over here, so that's good. I do not know Multiverse X, but as I said, I always take recommendations. So I'll look into it. Doesn't mean I'll make a video. I like to see how much sort of traction the other YouTubers are getting. There's got to be a community, but I will definitely look into it. Jesse X.
Cool. And then when you do, report back to me as well. That would be great.
Yep. And likewise with any coins you find that have great communities or just great investment prospects, yep, let me know.
Awesome. Then we actually have a question from Twitch, and sometimes I forget that I stream to Twitch because I don't have very much viewership. I just do it because StreamYard allows it. But what, in your opinion, makes a cryptocurrency reliable?
That's a good question. So, reliable, I guess it would depend on the use case. Reliable is like a like if it's a payment token, is it actually reliable? I mean, it's got to be just fast transactions, and obviously, Bitcoin without the Lightning Network takes 10 minutes. You can't spend, you can't really pay for that. You can't buy a cup of coffee with Bitcoin with that. But all these other transactions, all the other blockchains like the Algorand blockchain or Tron blockchain, they are literally zero fees. Like $50 payment is about a 1 cent fee. It's almost instant, so you can pay for stuff with that. Reliable in terms of price action. I put a lot of faith in the vesting schedules. That just means team shares, developer shares, early investor shares when they become unlocked, when they can sell. So if a coin, if it's only like 5 to 10% of the supply is currently circulating, and all those shares are going to become unlocked future, I tend to steer away from those projects. But if it's like a 1 year lock time initially, and then you still have like 6 months of that 1 year full lockup, then that's a good time to invest until 6 months comes down. Then the shares are going to start to be unlocked.
Okay, gotcha. And then we talked a little bit about MATIC already. Do you have any more thoughts on MATIC? I can talk about I have some thoughts on MATIC myself.
I should probably look a little more into MATIC, just given the traction here. A couple of people on my channel have recommended it. They seem good. They were neck and neck with Solana for a while, but Solana just tons of bad publicity, too much hacks, too much tied up into FTX, too much downtime, too much stoppages of their blockchain. Whereas MATIC is just quietly getting business done. They had one big hack, but that's pretty much the only major problem I've heard of with them. So crypto, if you're not hearing about something, but it's business as usual, that's a good thing. That describes Polygon. So I'm going to look more into it.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's not in the news, that's what you kind of want to see sometimes. I do believe Disney is putting their new coin out on Polygon. Is that correct? So a lot of like the mainstream companies that are coming in are kind of looking at Polygon as, that gives me cause to pause and just think about that for a minute. So I think Polygon is probably, in my opinion, one of the top altcoins. I mean, obviously everything's going to be following Bitcoin. So I don't think there's anything that's going to diverge from the overall market. But when we do get to a bull market, I think MATIC will be one of them that goes up the highest. So I am excited about that. It's just a matter of how long. I have a hard time DCAing in right now because what if we are in a bear market for 2 years, 3 years? Then you're just sitting on these coins for 3 years. Whereas again, I like the cash flow passive income projects where I could be making some money during that time and then start to maybe DCA in when we're closer to doing something. Because I have a feeling we might, like you said, have a year like 2019 where it was really just not up or down. It was just nothing. Like it was just kind of irrelevant a little bit. And I think we could possibly have that, but no one knows for sure. We try to look at past trends and things like that, but nobody knows what's going to happen for sure.
Yeah, with MATIC, I'll just add, I was surprised seeing CoinDesk's 50 most influential people in crypto. Their CEO, Ryan, I forget his name, he finished very high. I want to say like number 5 or 10 of their most influential, which I was kind of surprised. So yeah, I think they cited a lot of the big corporations because they can't put their name on the line with any risky project. So the fact that Disney and other corporations are talking about partnerships or in line with them, then that really bode well for the CEO of Polygon.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any thoughts on stable coins? People predicting the crash of USDT before too long and all sorts of things. Do you have any thoughts on stable coins?
Yeah, with this thing, it's always the test of time for me. So the one is stable coins. They basically exist to avoid problems. They're always going to have a use case. It's a huge use case. When you want to keep your money in crypto, but Bitcoin's a little too risky, Ethereum's too risky, you go into stable coins. That's the number one of the biggest use cases in crypto. I've always been a Tether guy just because it's the test of time. They've been around since 2014 and they have been depegged a little bit, never really below like 90, 92 cents, I want to say, which is pretty good. Some of the other coins have been depegged down to 70 cents. And then we also know about Terra. So Tether just test of time. A lot of people a lot of the FUD with Tether comes because they're owned by Bitfinex, which Bitfinex has always had sort of FUD. Just they are known to invest in very sort of high risk trading strategies, the way FTX did. But with Bitfinex, I just think they're good traders, Bitfinex. So the fact Tether has just avoided disaster since 2014, and all the other stable coins were mostly 2019, 2020, and beyond. I mean, Binance only launched a stable coin recently. Excuse me. So Tether just had a walk on the market for a long time. So I would say Tether is my recommendation.
Okay. And then Mountain Brother would like to know, what are the best job opportunities in crypto? Question goes to both of us. So maybe we can start with you, and then I have ideas as well.
So yeah, everyone keeps referencing, I don't have any affiliation with cryptojobslist.com or .co. I just keep seeing that is like really buzzworthy on Twitter. So I guess that's the one go-to site, like the monster.com for crypto, cryptojobslist.co, I think. So check that out. Yeah, I mean, you're either a technical guy or you're not. If you're a technical guy, it's just going to be the sky's the limit with getting jobs in crypto. Always a demand for good developers. Otherwise, you could probably start, community manager, sort of a lower level marketing associate. I know a lot of people who have just had big Twitter followings are just good on social media in relation to crypto, and then they've gotten community manager jobs just based on that. So they're basically just having fun. That's what they're on Twitter all day, and now they get to also be paid for it to grow a communities coin as well. So that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, no, but I would agree. It's kind of just find your skill set if you don't know it already, and then you can kind of just look for ways to offer value. So I have a lot of people that come to me and they don't offer value. They just say, basically, I can tell they're just looking for, what can I get out of you? And so those are the people that I'm not really interested. Like they say, hey, is there any way I can make money from you? And basically what they say. And it's like, well, I mean, what do? You tell me. I don't know. But the people that I've brought onto my team that I pay personally are people that come and they say, hey, I could do this, this, and this for you. It would make you more money in this, this, and this way. And then it's kind of a no-brainer. So like I've had, when I started my paid community, I had a guy build Pocket Aces. You guys know him, but he came on and said, hey, I'll build your Discord community. I'll build your Telegram community. And then you can pay me to mod that. So he basically built himself a job. With very little. He has technical knowledge, but you don't need that, to do something like that. So a mod is a great way. Just jump into a community and pour yourself into it and kind of see. I will say in the bear market, there's not a lot of people with like extra money sitting around. So there's not a lot of people that are looking for, hey, who could we just pay to do anything? So you have to kind of look for, where can you offer value? Where could you make them more money? And then, yeah, you can obviously, like you said, if you have technical skills, there's a huge need for Web3 developers right now. Like there's a huge shortage of Web3 developers. So you could do that. Marketing stuff. YouTube, you can just start jumping on YouTube. If that's a skill set that you think you might have, then, give it a shot. Who knows? Like, Ben, I don't know. Did you think 6 months ago when you started that 6 months later you'd have 22,000 subscribers?
It's a yes and no. And no, because I'm the sort of person who just hates being on camera. I'm not a social media person at all. So I knew that would take a little while to get used to. Yes, because I've been watching all these guys since 2017 when it was Lark Davis, Chica Crypto, Data Dash. So I was just watching videos religiously. So I kind of knew what the format was. But yeah, in relation to it, like as a YouTuber, you probably see this, teams like in the bear market, they just cut their marketing and advertising, their overall expenditures so much compared to the bull market. It's irrational. I don't really know why they do it, but you can tell they're kind of flirting around, with, okay, should we increase our marketing or not? And they always just decide to like hold it. I get the feeling they think like, 2 or 3 weeks every time. It's going to be a huge run up. We're going to go up 50% in prices. Then we'll spend it. So they keep just delaying it like every month. So it's tough, but not impossible in the bear market.
Yep, absolutely. Patrick says, do you think Polygon would end up just like Luna because of too much attention? And I would say no. Because the problem with Luna was actually, I think it was the stable. I mean, it was the Terra stuff. So they were messing around. The algorithmic stable coins, I think, are a failed experiment. I don't think they work. Like we're seeing that. If they work until they get attacked, but then there's always a way to kind of mess them up. And that was the whole problem with Luna, in my opinion. But I don't know, Ben, if you have any other thoughts.
Hi, Patrick. He's another regular on my channel. Good to see people coming over here. Yeah, it will not end up with Luna because they don't have like a one-to-one swap mechanism. It's too complicated to explain out, but that was the thing that that the stablecoin had UST. You could swap it with Luna. Polygon doesn't have that. They don't even have a stable coin, so they couldn't implode down to zero. Yeah, FUD can just knock any coin down 20, 30, 40% a day. Absolutely. But it would not go into that death spiral down to zero.
Yep, absolutely. Can you give your views on Cardano and XRP? Do you have thoughts on those two?
Great communities. I've never done any videos on these two. One on XRP coin, nothing on ADA. Might at some point. Yeah, I mean, a good long-term holds. Obviously, when the SEC case gets resolved, XRP, that's, it's going to go up, whether it's going to be a buy the news thing or sell the news thing, or whether it's going to have a huge run up right when the announcement happens. Who knows? But, both those coins have stood the test of time. I think XRP was like the third coin in existence after Bitcoin, and then one other coin, and then XRP. Dogecoin was also in there. Ethereum was later. Remember, 2014, not like 2011, 2012. So yeah, they're both like Cardano's just not a sexy coin, but the non-sexy coins are the good long-term holds. So if you need like tons of partnership announcements, tons of huge price spikes, then yeah, go with then don't go with Cardano. But if that's what you like, you just want a long-term hold, which I think is always good, especially because we've seen the volatility. Then yeah, they're both great long-term holds.
Yeah, and I've not done a lot on Cardano, but there's a whole community over there. The way that Ethereum has a community and Polygon has a community, there's a big Cardano ecosystem of projects that I haven't even looked at, NFT collections that I've never even seen. It's a whole new world. I dove into it a little bit a couple weeks ago, and I was like, this is like a whole new world that I never even really knew about. So I will be doing more into that. XRP, I'm probably not as big on as a lot of people are. I think the banks, there's no way they're going to adopt something someone else built. So I think that at best case, they're going to build their own XRP type coin, the CDBCs and things like that. They're going to do their best to cut XRP out. So whether or not they're successful kind of remains to be seen. We don't really know. But yeah, when the SEC lawsuit gets over, that will definitely help. We'll at least know what the future is going to look like at that point. But it might be, sorry to disappoint people, it might be more of stagflation, where it's just kind of doesn't do much. I have a feeling this lawsuit might linger on longer. How many times have we thought this lawsuit's going to be over? Probably like 15 times, and it still just keeps going and going. And I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if it continues to go for a while longer. So.
Yeah, let me just add one. Yeah, the SEC's strategy specifically is to just make that lawsuit go on as long as possible. They're not going for the greatest dollar amount. That's not their aim, is to just keep getting delay after delay after delay. So other coins will look at this and see, oh my God, that was a nightmare for 2 years. I don't want to deal with that. Just, cooperate with the SEC, play by the rules, whatever you want to do. But that is definitely their strategy. They're not going for the highest dollar amount. It's just the longest, most annoying case possible.
Oh, sounds terrible.
It sounds like an absolute nightmare. Yeah.
What, in your opinion, we'll do a couple more questions and we'll close up. But what, in your opinion, is the biggest factor that determines the rise or fall of crypto in general, and any individual cryptocurrency specifically?
See, the rise and fall of crypto in general. So crypto. It's never just going to go down to zero. The community is just too strong. When you just look at people like us and just everyone else in crypto Twitter, everyone's just so diehard. We just live and breathe it. So once if it became boring and people were leaving it, or there was some new asset class which was also tradable but unrelated, and that was taking people away, then I'd be a little bit worried. But no, that's not going to happen, or it's not 20 to 30 years away at least. So yeah, people are just so diehard about it. What determines rise? I think it's kind of just the 4-year cycle. I don't think it has anything to do with the Bitcoin halving. I think that's sort of just the sexy event that people like to do. I think it just takes that period of time for new projects to go up. Then, as in any industry, most don't succeed, some do. Then people get a little disappointed. Their projects don't succeed. They leave, and it's not like they come back 6 months later. They come back, 2 years later once prices start to go up again.
Yep. And we kind of see, I'm a believer that we just see cycles in the whole world economy right now, where there's either a lot of extra capital where people are looking for, hey, what are the best places to put excess capital? And then we have these contractions like we're in now, where people are taking their capital out of markets in general. Like people are saying, hey, we want to go buy gold. And I've been hearing things that I haven't heard in a long time in the investing world. People putting large amounts of money into like, yeah, gold and silver, which I mean, nobody's been doing that for the last few years. So I think that crypto is just a part of the world economic cycles that go on. And right now we're in a worldwide bear market. And eventually we'll be back to a point where, oh, there's a lot of extra capital floating around, and some of that will go into risky assets like crypto. And so that's kind of my take on it. But no, again, I want to just emphasize nobody knows for sure. The more confident people are when they talk about what's the future of crypto, what's the future of Bitcoin, the less I listen to them. I'd rather listen to somebody who says, I don't know for sure, but this is what I think. So that's my take. And Byte says you should enable donations on Twitch. Yeah, I kind of forgot I had a Twitch, but I might do that. Maybe I'd love to be in Twitch. You know, I'm a Call of Duty player, so I've always loved Twitch, but I'd love to be big on Twitch. That'd be awesome. Let's do a couple more and then we'll close here. What are your thoughts on the Bitcoin halving of 2024? I truly believe we'll continue to see volatility till then. Short bull run after. Do you want to just you mentioned it briefly, but you don't believe that the cycles coincide with the halving? Do you want to just talk about that a little bit?
It could be sort of, I mean, remember when the Ethereum their proof of stake change happened, there was the price did go really up in the months beforehand. Whether it should have gone up or not, that's up for debate. But I think the Bitcoin halving, it could, in the 2 months before, I'd be very bullish. I think that's a good time to buy just because everyone else is going to be buying because they think it's going to go up. I honestly, the Bitcoin halving is kind of a non-event in my opinion. But and then don't buy it like a week before because it's going to be a sell the news event. Everyone will have already bought. It's probably going to go down right when the event happens. But 2 months before, that's when Ethereum started going up. Great time to buy.
Yep, absolutely. All right, last comment. Ben reminds me of Ryan Reynolds. What a compliment.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Yeah, that is kind of a compliment. The hair is kind of the same. I get that I look like him. And then I get that I talk like, some people think I talk like Adam Sandler. I'm getting that a lot in the comments. Some people think I talk like the guy in Silicon Valley, the curly haired guy. I forget his name. Yeah, I get all sorts of people, but Ryan Reynolds looks wise. That's number one.
Hey, nice. That's a compliment. I never hear that. I hear Prince Harry for me a lot. Or
I
redhead, right? Yeah.
See a little Prince Harry there. Yep.
Yeah. I think people think all redheads look alike, so that's cool. Well, hey Ben, this has been a lot of fun. We'll wrap up there, but yeah, thank you, audience. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for directing the conversation. Again, call to action. I always end with the call to action. My marketing takes over in me, but go subscribe to Ben Crypto Show. Again, it's free. There's no reason to not do it. I'll post a link in the comments, but go visit there, subscribe to him. And Ben, thanks for taking the time out of your day to come in and just share your expertise, and would love to stay in touch when you have altcoins that you think, hey, this is big, this community's big. I'd love to stay in touch and share ideas around that.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Let's definitely be sharing tips going forward. And then, yeah, my audience obviously gives James Pelton a follow too. You can just search James Pelton in YouTube and Twitter. He's got a pretty big following. So definitely, I've been following him a while, so give him a follow as well.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Well, everybody, I hope you have a good rest of the day. Don't let the down markets get you down. That's going to be my new call tag to end with. So thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.